Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Jagad Dikta Pratiksa from Marketing Management from Telkom University in Bandung. Here now want to explain and title about my final project research. Company, company story. Based on the base agreement on the December title company 1949, the acquisition of assets belonging to the government on the Dutch East Indies of was carried out. The transfer in the form of merger between the Kari and C become the Department of Railway DKA in 1150 here on the 25th of May change of the State Rail Company. In that year, Wahana Daya TV symbol was also introduced, which reflect the transportation on the Indonesian Airways has a reliable mean of transformation of release the welfare of the nation of the country. The government changed the structure of into the 1971 ran service company in order in import transformation service BJKA change is from back of the public railway company in 1901 year. Perumka not into island limit company Kereta Api Indonesia in the year 1998 until now. The working areas in Java are divided according of the operation area, while the work areas in Sumatra are divided according to regional division. Regional operation Daob 3 Cirebon is organization until within the PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero which is under the direction of the Kereta Api is led by the head of regional operational Kadaop which is under and is responsible the director of PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero. Background research. Interview conducted by research with Kuswardoyo as manager of Umas Regional of 2003. According to him, rebranding Argo Cirebon and public and the media aim to improve service, profit convenience for user of railroad service by presenting and single service on the Argo Cirebon train and to continue to make buying interview still good. There was a decrease in the number of passengers of the Argo Cirebon by 514,800 passengers after the branding from before the branding of Argo Jati Cirebon Express Tegal Bahari by 670,788 8%. One, the implementation of public relations strategy by the regional operation 3 Cirebon. Why did you close the two resort of PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Operasi 3 Cirebon? Because main interest in company retail PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Cirebon 3 operasi area but it is to retrieve information and data. What the I cost this title the invention of rebranding and public relation of Argo Cirebon Insurance being interpreted Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Daerah Operasi 3 Cirebon 2020. Interview connected by Resort Wet Kuswardoyo as manager of Umas Regional Operation 3. According of the rebranding Argo Cirebon and public the media. M2 important service conference for user of railroad service by presenting a single service on the Argo Cirebon train and to continue to make buying interest you're still good. There was a decrease in the number one passenger for the Argo Cirebon by 514,800% after the rebranding from before the rebranding of the Argo Jati Cirebon Express Tegal Bahari by 600,700 and the implementation of public relation strategy by the regulation of Cirebon. Formula of the problem. What about public relation of PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Operation Area 3 Cirebon according to customer perception? How to rebranding PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Operating Area 3 Cirebon according to customer perception? How to request report the Cirebon Argo customer reviews of PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Operating Area 3 Cirebon of big in the effect of rebranding and public relation and the reviews in interest of the Cirebon Argo customer PT Kereta Api Indonesia Operasi Area 3 Cirebon. According to Cutler and Armstrong in Fianza, marketing management is a process to provide value to consumer and build close relationship with consumer in a way that benefit to company. Lepia D. in Fianza stated that service marketing is a very action offered by one party to another party that is friendly and does not cause any transfer of ownership. According to Tipto in Frianza, stated that the service marketing mix consists of. According to Tiptono in Frianza, states that the service marketing mix consists of factor, namely product price, promotion, flash present, physical events, process, customer service. According to Go and Go in the journal, Alexandra and Jailani, the rebranding process is carried out with a rebranding mix that is by repositioning, renaming, redesign, and relaunching. According to Cutler and Armstrong in Frianza, status that stated that the main activities that can be assessed in the public relation activities, namely as follows: publication event new sponsor. According to Ferdinand in the journal Sari and Lestari, refuse interest as the plowing for dimension. Export intern referential intern transactional intern preferential intern. Hypothesis: one, there is a partly significant effect between the rebranding variable on re, 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 review, review interest. There, H2, there is a partly significant effect between public relation variable on reviews interest. H3, there is significant simultan effect between on the rebranding variable public relation on re, re, reviews intern. Reset 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 man, man, method 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 reset reset approach quantitative reset objective multilinear regression data collection technique questionnaire and observation. Sampling technique, not non probability sampling, validity test, async person product moment, reliability async combat alpha technique. Analysis of characteristic of respondent gender. It can be seen that from 100 respondents, casting of 59% of respondents were male and 40% of respondents were male. This result can be counted that men dominate more. 8. It can be counted that 23% of respondents are less than 25-year old. 29% of respondents are 25 to 25-year old, and 35% are 35 to 35-year old. On the R respondent, 14% of respondents were over 45 years old of a total of 100 respondents. Based on this data, it can be counted that those who domination respondents were again 36 to 45 years. Less education. That there are 40% of respondents less education and senior school equivalent equivalent 9% of respondents less education in D, D3. 40% of respondents less education is S1 and 11 respondents has less education is S2. The number of respondents is 100 respondents and can be conclude con, con, conclude conclude that what domination is the less education of senior school equivalent and S1 profession. It can be concluded that 17% of student respondent, 35% of respondents are 50 employees, employees 35% of respondents are civil applicants and 15% of respondents are civil servants. The total number of respondents is 100 respondents. It can be concluded that one dominates private employees and entrepreneur. Month, month, monthly income. It can be concluded that 7% of respondents have an income of 500,000 of 1,000 to 1 million. 11% of respondents have monthly income of 1 million to 2 million. 27% of respondents have monthly income of 2 million to 4 million. And 35 respondents have monthly income for that 4 million. The total number of respondents is 100 respondents. It can be concluded to domination. One respondent who had income greater than 4 million. The amount of using argo cerbon in a year. It can be concluded that 84 respondents in the amount of using argo cerbon of year. The amount of using argo cerbon in a year. It can be concluded that 84 respondents in the amount of using argo cerbon a year as much as 1 to 6 times. 10% of respondents in the amount of using argo cerbon a year as much as 7 to 12 times, and 6% of respondents in the amount of using argo cerbon a year by more than twice. The total number of respondents is 100 respondents. It can be concluded that what domination are respondents who have 1 to 6 times the number of argo cerbon uses a year. Rebranding variable continuum length x1 based on the figure, which is a continuum length status that the rebranding variable as an average percentage of 78, which is indicated by the arrow in the continuum length. That number is up obtained from respondent. Respondent through the through the rebranding variable in average of 17.8% indicates that the respondent response is in the rate of 64% up to 100%, which mean that the process of the rebranding variable is approved. 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 Public relation content line X2. Based on the figure, with as continuing the last test that of that the public relation variable as an average represented of 77.7%, which is indicated by the error the continuing line that number is obtained from respondent responses through 11 rebranding variable and average of 7.7%, so that the response of respondent are the rank of 4% of 100%, which mean the post, position of the variable public relation is appropriate. Reviews re, 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 review just in internet continuous line based on the figure which is in continuous line status that the reviews interest variable has an average percent of 77.8%, which is indicated by the arrow the continuing line that number is obtained from respondent response through for rebranding variable and average from 57.8%, so that the response of respondent are in the rank of 64% up to 100%, which mean the position of the variable refuses in turn is appropriate. Research research result classic assumption text. Normality test is a test conclude with 10 of assessing the distribution of data in group of data of variable, which can be seen in the result of the one sample Kolmogorov normality test table with the SPSS application. The set of the table below explain that the normality test contained by the author obtained SMP significant value 0.84 with in more than 0.05 mean that the data can be set to the normal. P-plot graph based on the cut output above. In can be seen the that the plotting point contained in the normal p-plot of regression standardized residual image always follow an approve the regional diagonal line. The, therefore, 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 as the basis of Guildelin's for decision making in the normality test of probability plot and technique. The probability plot technique can be conclude that the residual value is normally distributed. Thus, the residual value can be fulfilled. Heterodicity test, according to Ghazali, is that there are certain patterns such as the dots that exit from contain certain partner that are regional within wavy within that narrow it, then herodicitas has occurred. Conversely, in there are no clear pattern and points spread about and below zero on the axis there, then there is no herodicity. Therefore, it can be concluded that there is not heterosexuality problem in the regression model above. Multilinearity test, multicollinearity test. Multicollinearity test. The purpose of the multicollinearity test is to find of whether there is a significant correlation between independent variables, because if there is a high correlation between the independent variable will reduce confidence in the test result. But based of the result of the multicollinearity test in the table, according the result of the output confusion in the collinearity context statistic section. It is now that the VEV value for rebranding and public relation variable is 9.730 smaller that than 0.00 that referring to the decision making in the multicollinearity test. In it can be concluded that of multicollinearity symptoms occur. Autocorrelation test. Autocorrelation test is asset to determine whether whether or not there is an definition from the classic as assumption of autocorrelation, which is the correlation that occur between residual residual is one observation with other observation in the crescent model. Based on the table, it is now that the turbine Ason value D is 2.030 greater than the upper upper limit value, which is 1.715 and less that for less do for less 1.175 equal with 2.287 then as the basis for decision making of the what's on turbine dash above and it can be conclude conclude that there are no problem or symptoms of auto symptoms of autocorrelation. Validity test. Each variable the author tests the validity level of the distributed excuse primary validity test is done by correlating its statement with the total score the 100 respondent. The result of the calculation of the validity test using SP is for Windows. Of all the question items that have been tested, both rebranding, public relation, and intern in processing all statement item in the table are declared valid because the item the table except where table for the number of respondent 100 is 0.196. Result 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 reliability test reliability test reliability testing is for format on all valid statement item. The reliability test result with SPS as listed in the table show that the reliability test result with Cronbach alpha value of 0.973 for rebranding variable, 0.974 for public relation variable, and for 0.916 for the variable refuses interns because their variable are greater than 0.80 then reliability is good. Multilinear regression test. Multilinear regression analysis is used to predict the dependent variable ups and down of the dependent variable if two or more dependent variable as predictor factor are manipulated increase the value down. From the table above we get the following equation. U equal 178 plus 0.120 there x1 plus 0.177 x2 for the result of the multilinear regression equation. Variable can be interpreted as a constant of 0 point mass be 75, meaning that if the two independent variable x1 x2 are 0 and there is no change, that then the review's interest will be for 0.175. The the coefficient J1 is equal to 0.323, meaning that is the rebranding variable has a positive effect on reverse interest of in afterward in the rebranding variable is increased by one and the reverse interest will increase by 0.123. Coefficient x2 equals 0.177, mean that if the public relation variable has a positive effect one, coefficient x2 is 0.377, mean that if the public relation variable has a positive effect on reverse interest of in the order, what if the public relation variable is increased by one until the proposed interest will increase by 0.377. This test is done for this is done to find out whether the rebranding and public relation variable affect the interest in the test in carried out with the result of the calculation criteria greater than the table. Based of analysis obtained the count x1 equal to 3.147 is greater than the table 1.914 fatally rebranding variable as significant effect on reverse in turn because the cause is within that the table and the resulting sig value of 0.01 in the coefficient table is smaller that the probability value of 0.05 can be conclude the H2 is reject and H2 is expected. The following are the results of the analysis of hypothesis testing is in synthesis for form namely H2 H0. There is no partially particularly significant effect between rebranding variable on revisitors' interest. How one. There is a particularly significant effect between the rebranding variable on reverse interest. It can be concluded that H0 is rejected and H1 is expected, which means that there is partly significant effect between rebranding on request of revisions. The ratio of the the count x to 5.496 is greater than the table of 1.984 for then fatally the public relation variable influencing the review's internal variable because the arithmetic is greater than the table and the sig value product equal to the coefficient the coefficient table is smaller than the probability value of the x can be concluded the H0 is rejected and H1 is expected. The following are the results of the analysis of hypothesis testing is synthesis for namely H0 cannot be finally significant effect between public relation variable on reference interest. H1 there is partly significant effect between public relation variable on buying interest. It can be concluded that H0 is reject and H0 can not be a partly significant effect between public relation variable on references refuges interest. H0 there is a partly significant effect between public relation variable on buying interest and can be concluded that H0 is rejected and H1 is expected, which means that there is partly significant effect between public relation on reverse interest. Fit test. This is uses the determinant whether an independent variable together together have together have a significant influence on the dependent variable based on the table obtained of count equal to 213.837 is greater than f table equal to 3.09 then simultaneously rebranding and public relation variable f significant effect on the variable refuses in terms of 200 under 12.837 of equal to H0 is reject and H1 is aspect. The following are the reason of the analysis of hypothesis testing in synthesis 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 for namely H0. There is not significant simultaneous effect between rebranding and public relation variable on reverse intern. H0 there H1 there is significant simultaneous effect between rebranding and public relation variable on refugees intern. In can be conclude that H0 is reject and H1 is expected, which mean which mean there is a significant simultaneous effect between rebranding and public relation on reverse interns. The remaining convention, the remaining convention, I'm to the remaining the pro, propo, proportion on the total percent of variation in the dependent variable applied by the independent variable. Based on the result of the derivation test or the R test, the correlation of coefficient value R is 0.900. Their R square value is 0.815. This is This is explained from the result of data analysis above. It can be concluded that rebranding and public relation have a 90.3 perspective relationship on rebranding and public relation have an influence on reviews in terms of 81.5% when 18.5% included by factor order that are not shown. Correction. Rebranding is carried out by PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Operation Area 3 Cirebon is the reg category because is score 78%. The reason are obtained based of the dimension of reasoning relons. Public relation conducted by PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero operasional area 3 Cirebon is in the category because it score 77.7%. The result of obtained based of the dimension of public venue sponsor. Represent intern at PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero Operation Area 3 Cirebon is the good category because it score 77.8%. The result are obtained based of the dimension of exploration intern reference intern translational intern preferential intern. Based on the result of the determination test of the R test, the correlation coefficient is obtained R equal to 0.903, square value 0.815. This is explained from the result of the analysis of the data analysis about it can be concluded that private and public relation have an increase of refuses intern of 81.5%, while 18.5% is include and influenced by factor on under the that or not research. Suggestion. Based of the reason conducted by the author, the rebranding variable in statement 11 get the following present with statement of 3 Cirebon makes an advancement change of an argotic Cirebon expert and maritime Tegal return to Meteorite Cirebon Railroad mass media. From this it is expected that PT Kereta Api Indonesia operating area 3 Cirebon to approve this factor going forward. Based on the research conducted by conducted by the author, the public relation variable in statement get the lowest percentage with the statement of 3 Cirebon provides information of changing the method railroad Cirebon Express and Tegal Bahari into Argo Cirebon strong audio visual from this is the expected that PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero operating area 3 Cirebon to improve this factor going forward. Based on research conducted by the author, the variable refuses intern in the statement and get the lowest percentage with the statement. I visit the Cirebon station to get information about the Cirebon Argo product. From it is expected that PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero operating area 3 Cirebon to improve this factor going forward. It is it it is as expected that further research can look for factor under that the rebranding and public relation influence variable that can affect the consumer reviews interest of Argo Cirebon. PT Kereta Api Indonesia Persero operating area 3 Cirebon expanding the area of research and using large sample in order to obtain stronger data that for previous research. Thank you.